Good day, everyone. I am Biology-ALLAWAN, the presenter for the research entitled Exploring the Factors Influencing the Performance of Senior High School Students in Biology. Biology always plays a vital component to one's education. It is a key element students need to learn and master in order to cope with the complexity of other disciplines in the senior high school curriculum. However, recent standing of biology proficiency among Filipinos is deteriorating and at par compared to neighboring ASEAN countries. According to the Trends in Mathematics and Science survey, put the Philippines in disadvantaged positions among the participating nations. So the results of teams, the Philippines ranked almost at the bottom of the list of 17 nations which took part in this large-scale evaluation of educational achievement. Nevertheless, the Department of Education Philippines has identified problems that coincide with the country's current tertiary school curriculum. Unqualified and poorly trained teachers, inadequate facilities, and dilapidated instructional materials are among the school-related factors found. In keeping with this, the students should apply these habits to all their classes. This study is anchored on the following theories. Number one is Sigmund Freud's theory in Martin Ford's motivational system theory. This framework focuses on the individual as the unit of analysis, but embeds the individual in the biological, social, and environmental contexts that are crucial to the development. Second, Bandura's social cognitive theory stresses the importance of observing and modeling other people's behaviors, attitudes, and emotional reactions. Third, Guy's theory of acquisition of knowledge states that an important foundation of education is establishment of a high reminder of the learning ability. Lastly, in addition, this study is also adopted by Piaget's theory of constructivism, which states that people produce knowledge and form meaning based on their experiences and impact learning because teachers need to develop a curriculum plan that enhances their students' logical and conceptual development. Shown in this figure is the conceptual framework of the study. The independent variables of the study are the teaching approach, the student-related factors, teaching strategy, teachers' motivation, and learning resources. Meanwhile, the dependent variable of this study is the student's performance in biology. This study used a sequential exploratory strategy of a mixed method research design. This exploratory research initially employed a qualitative design, which is the most appropriate in describing the experiences of the senior high school students. In qualitative research, Creswell 2009 stressed out that the quest of understanding the nature of the investigation is by entering the field of perception of the participants, seeing how they experience, live, and display the situation and looking for the meaning of the participants' experiences. Additionally, A sequential exploratory mixed method is a design of validating both qualitative and quantitative methods. This study was conducted at the University of Mindanao Senior High School Department in the two colleges, first in the Panabok campus and the Tagum campus. Next, for the research respondents, so the informant selection and sampling procedures will each undergone two phases. First phase and the qualitative phase. The purposive sampling was utilized in choosing the participants who are information rich. These participants can present multiple perspectives of individuals to represent and display different dimensions. This study has 12 key informants who were biology teachers. These participants were selected based on the qualifying criterion. The participants must have at least 5 years experience in teaching biology. This is to assure that the participants have already enough lived experience in teaching the subject. In the second phase is we have here the quantitative phase. The quantitative phase used a random sampling. The participants of the study were the students in the grade 11 and grade 12 senior high school students. These respondents are the beneficiaries of the K to 12 curriculum since its implementation. The 306 grade 11 and grade 12 students were selected randomly by the researcher who have a biology subjects on their class. Okay, that is for the research instrument. Following the standard procedure in the instrumentation, the interview guide and questionnaire were used in this study. Hence, an interview guide was composed of open-ended questions to explore the factors that are influenced with the performance of students in the biology subject. And then for the data analysis, all statistical analysis of the qualitative and quantitative results was analyzed and computed. For the qualitative analysis, thematic analysis was done to identify the themes from the answers undergone from the in-depth interview. The following are the statistical tools utilized in the quantitative phase. First is the alpha or the exploratory factor analysis was used to determine whether the item is part of the five factors. The factor loading was set at zero point 0.3 as inclusion criteria. Second is the mean. It was used to determine the mean level of agreement on the factors linked to the performance of senior high school students in biology. And lastly, this performance row is used to determine the significant relationship of the factors and the academic performance of the students. Okay, for the result, so we have here the statement of the problem number one. What are the factors influencing the performance of senior high school students in biology? So the five emerging themes as factors mainly the teaching approach, the student-related factors, the teaching strategy, the teacher's motivation, and the learning resources. Okay, we have here the teaching approach. So it means that the teacher finds ways to catch the attention, discuss the lessons from simple to deep context. Okay, the informants narrated that, so according to the key informant interview number one, so where the teacher mentioned that in order for the students to learn from the subject, he or she should find ways or approach. Another key informant interview number two, in teaching biology, I do believe and practice that you have to start in the simple. Key another factor is the student-related factors. It means that uh, the student's retention and the student's interest. As informants cited, according to the KIA number 3, one of the major factors that affect the academic performance of my students in biology is their level of retention. Another key informant interview number 8 mentioned that the interest of the students because I believe that if they are interested to learn. Another factor is the teaching strategy. It means these are the activities, class exercises, and drills. As informants cited, teachers' strategies are very important in connecting their previous knowledge. So that is according to key informant interview number 1. And also key informant interview number 4 mentioned that the teacher must deliver the lessons well in order for the students to easily catch up with the lessons. The fourth factor is the teacher's motivation. As informants cited, the teacher must be a good motivator, especially if the student hates biology, as according to KIA number 4. And also the teacher should be really good in motivating the students for them to learn effectively and be cooperative. And the last factors we have here, the learning resources. As informants cited, one factor is related to the limited facilities. That is according to KI number 5 and KI number 6 mentioned the resources are lacking in our school. Okay, for the second problem number 2, what is the level of agreement that linked on the performance of senior high school students in biology? So all the 5 factors in overall have 4 main level of agreement, which means or which has a qualitative description is agree. Okay, for the statement of the problem number 3, what is the level of performance of senior high school students in biology? So the both grade 11 students in the Panabo College and Tagum College has a qualitative description of very satisfactory or a mean of 87 to 90%. While the grade 12 students, they have an outstanding qualitative description based on their academic performance or in their grades. And last, seeing of the problem number 4, is there a significant relationship between the factors and the performance of the senior high school students in biology? Okay, all of the factors has an R value that is greater than 0.05. That means that it is failed to reject. Okay, all of the factors has no significant relationship that is also based on their academic performance or in their grades. Because I think the students are just focusing more on their academic performance or in their grades. And then the class record coming from the DepEd. So as I observed, so the every student has a initial grade of 60. So they only need 15 points for their effort to have that passing grade or 75. So in this case, some of the students have very high grades because of this class record. Okay, for the conclusion, based on the findings, there were 5 identified factors influencing the performance of students in the biology, namely the teaching approach, the student-related factors, the teaching strategy, the teacher's motivation, and the learning resources. Also, the mean level of agreement of the students, such as those teaching approach, teaching strategy, teacher's motivation, and learning resources agree. However, the mean level of agreement in the student-related factors are moderately agree. Furthermore, the performance of the students in biology, or in terms for their grades, in grade 11, it has a satisfactory rating, while in the grade 12 has an outstanding rating. Overall, the author or the researcher concluded that the factors influencing the performance of senior high school students in biology has no significant relationship in their performance. This result signified that there were no factor influencing the academic performance of the senior high school students in biology. He further recommendations based on the results and the conclusions mentioned. The following recommendations are hereby suggested since the results have showed a low mean level of agreement when it comes to the student-related factors. It have a more exposure to any biology experiment. That is why they have a hard time performing in the biology class. Also, biology teachers may be suggested for using of a research articles in the subject to be included in their arsenal of the teaching strategy of biology teaching schools. Thus, this study may motivate those who are into instruction and accept and employ biology research. Further study on the factors influencing the performance in teaching biology would cover other factors that are not included in this study. Moreover, to conduct another study in other subjects in the curriculum, such as other branches of sciences, like in physics, chemistry, earth sciences, or astronomy. Lastly, it is recommended that another grade level will be used as a respondents, like in junior high school level, from grade 7 to 10. Okay, thank you for listening and have a good day.